Hello, let's make some bread. It's about this big in the pan that I'm using. I'm using a 2-pound tin, I think it's called. I've got my other loaf in here. It's about this big. Ooh, look at that, pecan. So the recipe I'm using today is gonna fill that very nicely and produce you a loaf of bread like this. So to start, I want one of these. It's a big old mixing bowl. And you're gonna want a jug to measure water and some scales because we need accurate measurements. So go ahead and place. Make sure you zero your scales so that it doesn't account for the weight of your bowl, because then your measurements aren't going to be right. Flour. I'm going to try and attach my tripod to my chest so I can film like almost like a POV shot, because I don't have a GoPro, so this is going to have to do. This is how I'm doing it. Alright, let's do it. That's not gonna work. This is a terrible idea. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour 400 to 500 grams of flour in here. We'll take 450. Yeah, that'll do. I'm gonna take some out and just sort of sprinkle it there because I'm gonna need that later for when we're kneading. So just kind of like dust your hands as well. You'll need it. Grab yourself a yeast packet. Usually most like grocery shops will sell it just in 7-gram packs. It's very handy because we need 7 grams. So just I can't open it. All right, get the yeast in there. You can also use yeast as a way to ferment honey and make homemade mead, which is really nice. We're also going to need some oil. I'm using extra virgin olive oil, and I'm just going to open it and just sort of put some glugs in there. It's about 2 teaspoons worth. I don't know what that is in freedom units, but more or less it's about that much. And the essential is you want 300 ml of warm water, because warm water will activate the yeast and make it rise. Water. And I'm going to incorporate that in a sec. I'm going to get just a bit of salt. I'm using Cornish flaky sea salt because I didn't buy any fine salt. Because I saw this and I thought, I don't need fine salt when I have flaky salt. So that's going in there. I don't have a whisk, so I'm using a fork. And I'm just going to incorporate the oil and the yeast into the flour evenly. That way we don't have any lumps. So it'll look something like that, which just kind of looks like flour. So let's get these scales out of here. And let's slowly incorporate the water. Get that in shot. So I'll add a splash and sort of mix it in a little bit. A bit more. Making bread isn't that difficult, to be honest. It really just is. Get some measurements for some dry ingredients. Put it in a bowl. Get some measurements for wet ingredients. Put it in the bowl. It's just time consuming because it takes... We're going to be kneading this for about 15 minutes, right? And that can get exhausting if you're hand kneading it. If you have a machine, if they have like a stand-aid or a dough hook, then it's going to like 5. But we're going to be kneading this for 15 minutes. And if you don't knead it enough, there's something to do with the yeast and the starch proteins. I don't really know. But it's not going to be as nice. So we're going to need to knead this for a while. And that's really where the time comes from. And letting it proof. So, grab your dustinator and just lightly flour your hands, lightly flour your surface. Now I've got Godfather hands, and just turn it out. It's going to look like a shaggy mess. That's That's fine, because it will come together. You just gotta hope. Remember that you're using a recipe, and it's likely that the person who made the recipe knows what they're talking about. So we're just gonna knead this for 15 minutes, turn it around, keep kneading it, and we'll let it proof. So just keep kneading it. Hey Google, what's the time? It's 3:37 here. 3:37, so at 5 to? Hey Google, set a timer for 15 minutes. The only person in this apartment that I live with is my Google Assistant. I'm kind of amazed at how quickly this came together. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. We've got a nice supple ball of dough. But this bad boy's got to rise. So I'm going to wash up my bowl and line it. Here's my bowl. We're going to... Oh, I didn't turn on my B-cam. Here's my bowl. And we're just going to line it. So I'm going to spritz some oil in there. And just use the dough to spread the oil around. Leave it covered. We're going to have to let this proof for about an hour. So come back in an hour, watch your favourite TV show, but hopefully this will have doubled in size in roughly an hour to an hour and a half. So see you then. It's now tomorrow, as told by my different outfit. I've let the dough proof overnight. I'm very blurry. I've let the dough proof overnight, so hopefully when I take off this cover, it's doubled in size. Oh, oh, it actually hasn't. Oh, that's a problem. I think it was about that size when I put it in. Alright, well, let's move this camera and figure out why that happened. I'm not quite sure why this didn't raise. It looks like I just have another pizza dough. This just did not rise at all. And it's dried out as well. So that's a problem. So I guess this is a example of what not to do. This could probably make a focaccia bread because it's quite flat, but there's still really dried out areas. I'm not sure what to do with this. Here's one I made earlier. Behold, we have another dough. This one's slightly bigger. It's got more air in it. So I'm gonna wet this actually, because this is also dry. I need a bread tin. So I'm just gonna go ahead and knead this a little bit, and we'll throw it in the oven. Oh my god, that's just not coming together. Let's make a pizza. All right, let's form a crust, and let's make a nice thick pizza. And there you go. Here's not what to do when baking. So don't preheat your oven to 220°, and don't put your successful dough in there for 20 to 30 minutes or until golden brown and it sounds hollow when you tap on the bottom. Absolutely do not check its soundproofing. I have so much useless dough here now. F me. So yeah,